so let's take a look at where all this is. This is the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands, the tens are the ending of situations that you have been working on for quite a while. This guy's carrying a heavy, heavy load, and it doesn't look like you are able to heal yourself until you release some of these things. It does feel like it's around an attachment to either a family member or a love person, but it does, someone that is in your heart, but it does look like wishing it was one way and knowing it is another is what I'm feeling. So it does feel like you need to look at the situation for what it actually is and start to release some of these either responsibilities or agreements or things that are out of line for you and do not facilitate your growth. But it does look like you've been picking up extra things from other people that do not serve you. So it's time to put down all these heavy burdens that never really belonged to you in the first place. It is right next to a person card. So you may have to pick up the burden either for a partner that lost a job, a child that can't deal with their responsibilities. It could be a parent that needs a little extra TLC as they age, but it does look like your burdens are getting a little bit too heavy for you to facilitate your own growth. So release what you can that will help you move forward on your own path a little bit more solidly. But it does look like some agreements that you made in the past, either within relationship space, love relationship space, a child, a family member, it's out of line now. It's not in line with your growth, and it is no longer necessary. So it does feel like it's kind of slipping. It may be slipping into kind of a codependency situation where this person really can do it even though they're saying they're not. And as I said, it could be a child. This is a Knight of Swords. That is a younger person normally, or emotionally not as capable, shall we say. What crosses you is the family. And this is the Six. This is the Six of Cups. This also can be messages from the past. But it does feel like you are redoing some things around the house. You could be packing up to move. You could be just releasing, going through your closets, releasing things from your past that no longer serve you. It also dictates some kind of emotional connection from the past. So you may be getting an email, a message, a letter, a Christmas card, a Kwanzaa card from someone that you haven't heard from quite a while in the past. And it does look like it brings joy to you, that it isn't a negative communication. What is above you is the Five. This is the Five of Pentacles, and this is what I call the old, broke, and alone. This is basically a fear card, and a lot of times our fears get in the way of our highest creative energies and our highest creative growth. So it does look like that this is self-created. Sorry about that, Capricorn, but it does look like there are some fears that are holding you back. Just step through those fears, because the reality of it is one of growth, happiness, welcoming, and looks like positive communication. There does feel like a possibility to make some changes, either through your work situation or a way that you make money, that there's a lot of fear around it, that you have to do this drudgery type of work in order to survive. But that feels like a lie in your space. It does feel like you're really capable of creating money just kind of out of the air. It has been a little bit treacherous. It has been a little bit challenging for you, but it does look like to trust your own intuition and start healing yourself. If you release a lot of these burdens that aren't yours, you'll be able to kind of grasp your own future with a little bit more certainty, because it does look like you're very fearful about those changes, and whether it's a new job, a new home, doing something different, releasing a relationship, recommitting to a relationship. But it does look like the fear is kind of holding you back from your growth, and it is self-created. It is not external. So, and for those of you that it does feel like there may be some medical things that you need to deal with as well, that it is very scary, but take that leap of faith, get the information that you need. And it does feel like it isn't as bad as your mind is taking it. But, you know, for those of you who are battling a pretty serious disorder or disease, it does look like you will be getting some answers that will help you heal yourself a little bit or live a little bit more comfortably in this lifetime. So things that have happened in the past is the Ace of Swords. And, you know, this is the hand of God. This is communication, action. This is something coming, slicing out of the sky. So you may have had kind of a jolt either to your ego, some kind of jolts of communication. Doesn't necessarily have to be to your ego, but it does look like there was a jolt of communication in the past. You've got some information that kind of put you on your ear. It can be anything. I don't necessarily think it was negative. You know, I don't necessarily look at things as negative and positive, but it does look like it was quite shocking to you, whether it was, you know, medical, whether it was an affair, whether it was losing your job, but something was quite shocking to you in the past, and now you have to take action. It does look like a little resentfully in the beginning you have to take action, and fear was brought up because of this situation, but it does look like things will move a little bit more slowly, a little more quickly in the future. And it does look like it's time to prioritize for you. You have been prioritizing for other people's needs and comfort. And now it does look like your energy, your body, your space needs all of your focus to either create your next step in a situation or to live with a little bit more peace of mind in the current situation is what I'm picking up. The Wheel of Fortune, this is a 10. It can go one way or the other. You have a number of 10s here, so that kind of tells me you are ending something and taking a leap of faith into starting something new, or at least thinking of starting something new. You have 9 here, so you might be prioritizing, releasing some of the things that don't work for you anymore. And it's kind of a boggly time is what I'm feeling, that you may not be clear on what your next step is or how to achieve it. So just open your mind, open your heart, let spirit show you what your next step is. I know when I get into this kind of, I got to control it, I have to do it this way. When I just sit back and give it to spirit, I always get the answer that is healthiest for me. It may not be the one that I wanted. It may not be the one that I thought of, but it usually is the one that facilitates the situation that I need for learning and for personal growth and enlightenment. So it does feel like the Wheel of Fortune is here. It's spinning. It can go one way or the other. So whatever you put the energy into, if you're stuck in this fear place, you're going to create those fear things. If you are willing to move that energy, release stuff, and take a look at it as you release it instead of holding on to it, then yes, the Wheel of Fortune will go towards the positive. So it's really within your control, Capricorn. Everything that happens to us is a lesson of some sort and a challenge, from the very, very good to the very, very ugly. And we always learn something. So take a look at all of your choices before you jump into something. And it does look like growth is possible, but it does look like you need to release some of this baggage from the past and some of this sorrow from that kind of jolting experience here. The Knight of Swords is here, and the Knight of Swords, you know, the knights, they depict motion and communication. Swords are usually communications, higher ideals. This is feeling like it is a person. This could be, or swords dictate it's an air sign. This Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. And it does feel like this person is moving backwards a little bit, kind of hanging on to you a little bit more. This can be a male or a female. It can be a younger person because it is a knight, or a very immature person even if it is someone that is maybe older than 30. But it does feel like someone has made some choices that kind of set them back, and now they need some help from you. Realize if you take on their burden once again, that they won't learn anything. So let them feel the sting of their decision a little bit. I'm not saying, kick them out in the cold, make them homeless or whatever, but it does look like this person makes that same mistake over and over and over again, and it's something you clean up. It may have to do with some money, so let them feel the sting of their poor decisions, either around money, time management, or whatever it is. But it does look like that kind of unhealthy picking up their pieces when they make a decision that doesn't work out is kind of a thing of the past. That no longer serves you. It no longer serves them. And right now you need all your energy. There's a ton of orange energy here. So that tells me, the color orange tells me that you are healing yourself, and it may be on a physical level, maybe a heart level, or a mental level, or all three. So it does really look like things have needs to change, and whoever you've been helping out ad nauseum can really help themselves, and they need to feel the sting of their decisions in order for you to get your energy back to start healing you for your situations and your lessons. So here is the seven of swords, and this can be theft, this can be trust, this can be gossip, but it does look like, and it's feeling like something from the past is kind of sneaking up on you, and this may have to do with something you put out in the world that really didn't turn out right, that kind of created discord. But it does feel like you had to walk away from a situation, or had to own up to something before walking away from it. But it does look like it's here, right here. So it does feel like you may have a little guilt around this. So it's feeling like it's more of a it's not a situational thing, it's an opinion thing. It does look like it can be resolved, but it does feel like you're feeling a little guilty, and that you want to heal this situation before you're able to move on fully into your greatness. But it does feel like something from the past that was facilitated by you. And the Wheel of Fortune is here. So if you misinformed someone, see if you can clean that up. Or maybe if you've had a long-term friendship that didn't work out and you kind of separated for a bit, but it does look like part of your growth has been halted until you clean this up. It does feel like it's following you around a little bit in your head. So, writing a letter, picking up the phone, or just forgiving yourself in your heart. Sometimes it doesn't take a physical action, just forgiving yourself in your heart in order for you to move into your greatness. The King of Wands is here. Wands usually are earth signs, or they are earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. So this could be you. It does feel like it's time to make you a priority, your choices. You've been kind of like the backup band for somebody else's dreams and desires for a while, and now it's time to put your effort, your energy, your dreams, your desires, your accomplishments in the forefront. And kings are kind of stoic. They are morally in line with what is right. We come into our bodies, we know what is right and what is wrong already. And it does feel like you may have to take the moral high ground. It also feels like someone else is kind of pulling the strings on some of your decisions, and you've acquiesced in the past, and now it's time to stand up with certainty and make you as important and integral in decision makings as you have allowed others to kind of take charge. And this feels like it's more in a love relationship, either a marriage, partnership type of thing. So it's time to stand up and go, I'm putting me first. If you want to do that by yourself, that's fine. But it does feel like you have really loved and supported and nurtured someone to their greatness while you have allowed yourself just to kind of fall in the wayside. So it's time to make you as important as you do others that you love. The devil is here. Usually that is a temptation. It can be anything from like forgetting to pay a bill to, if you're sober, it could be a test of your sobriety. It can be listening to gossip, all those negative things that tend to pull us away from our positive growth. So it's just a test. If you have released a relationship, it can be, that relationship coming back, even though you are growing and you are creating a wonderful space for yourself in present time, and know that you're doing fine without them. This could be just them coming back and going, hey, I want to try it all over again. But you know what? It is what it is until you make it something else. But it does look like it will be more of the same, whatever that is, whether it's, drugs, alcohol, relationship, toxic friendships, toxic family patterns, whatever you have changed. It does look like it's the last vestige of, spirit going, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to put everybody else in front of you? So it's just a test. And it does look like the Hierophant is here. And it will be easier for you to choose the right path for you, and that can be anywhere from, getting back in bed with somebody that has been really toxic for you. So it does feel like the Hierophant will kind of win this challenge if you keep in focus. It is what it is. A lot of times people who don't grow, they're not going to grow, even though they said they're going to. So assess for yourself, use your wisdom before you make any wild jumps. I'm sorry. King of Wands is fire. King of Wands is fire. Sorry, guys, I'm a little tired. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But this also does stand for being exalted, making the right choices, choosing the motions for yourself. So it still has the same type of exalted message, but this may be with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. What is here on the culmination card is right at the top of this. It is right underneath the devil. So it does feel like the Seven of Wands here. It does feel like you're kind of backed into a corner. It does feel like that is false. It feels like it's a false sense of control. So you won't change the game. Take a look at what it is for what it is and make your decisions based on what you need to do to heal and grow and communicate. It does feel like communication at this time is super important. You have the Ace of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So it does feel like make sure your words are of integrity. You may have to think a little bit before you share your communication, that your words could be kind of cutting. So make sure when you are speaking that you are in from place of love for yourself as well as others. But it does feel like you're feeling a little backed in the corner. That does feel like a false set of control from this Devil card. So it does take me right to the 9 here, and this is the I'm almost done card. The 10s are when things are moving, and you do have the 10 here, part of the release. So it does look like this 9 is here. You're kind of taking a look at what works for you, what doesn't, keeping the things that you can propel yourself into your greatness. It does, the wrap around the head is kind of lighting up for me. So it does feel like you may have been doing a little overthinking last month going into this month, that you may have had a little bit more head spinning or a little bit more pressure in your head, some kind of physical manifestation of headaches or anxiety over doing this. And as you release more and more and more, the less that will be prevalent in your head. But it does look like you are really assessing things. It does feel like you're hanging on to stuff, though, hoping that it will change. It is what it is, Capricorn. It just is what it is. It is not going to change unless you make those changes. So that hope for what it was is not what it is. The other side of this is the Hierophant, and that is when the Hierophant is kind of tradition and marriage, and it can also mean challenging those traditions, creating new traditions, releasing the traditions that no longer work. Has there been a shift in the family dynamics? That really needs to be addressed. Are you creating new traditions for yourself as you're going through this kind of tumultuous change, Capricorn? It's time to embrace new things, new ways of doing it. You don't have to be stuck in, making it this way because that's the way great Aunt Minna did it. So it does look like you're challenging some of your own personal traditions, some of your own beliefs, and it may be even beliefs on marriage or friendships or morals, but it does feel like you are taking a step out of some traditions and creating new ones. Well, Capricorn, that is your reading for the month of December. It's a general reading. I'm going to throw some of these wonderful angels in abundance cards. They do tend to mention God in there, and for my atheist friends, you can replace that word with whatever fills your heart, whether it's a tree or whatever, or science. I don't want to challenge your beliefs, but these do mention God. So, successful funding. All right. Your idea is divinely guided and supported by the same infinite wisdom of God that gave you the idea. Do not allow money concerns to prevent you from turning it into reality. Crowdfunding, partnerships, and other investments are available to help you. So it does look like how you normally made money or how you normally experienced money will be changing. You can also ask for help. There are two that came out here, so we're going to read that. Partnership. It feels like partnership is changing. Asking for your needs to be met. So there you go. Allow helpful, supportive partnerships into your personal life and career, and both parties benefit as a result. You are receiving help from heaven and from a person who brings needed skills and resources. So yeah, you're getting what you needed. Just look a little broader. Look a little broader. I know, Capricorn, you're very diligent. You like to do it yourself. But at this time, we all need help in this lifetime. So don't be afraid to ask for what you need. God and the angels can come to your aid only if you make a free will choice to be helped. And it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do so. The same holds true with clearly asking other people to assist you. So now it's time to come out of the ego space, ask for what you need, whether it's money, a hug, a raise, a different job, whatever that help is. Don't be afraid to ask for it, Capricorn. It does not challenge your capabilities. No one can do this life alone. We all need a little help along the way.